And welcome back to the special edition of Hannity. Now, some of the most vile and outrageous examples of liberal hate speech are not just being spewed by so-called comedians, but by mainstream news networks pretending to be unbiased and down the middle. Joining me now, the co-host of The Five, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and Fox News contributor Leslie Marshall. Guys, welcome back.
Hi, Tom.
Well, one of the things we've got to examine here, very specifically, is what is Tom Brokaw, who I think is really... He was somebody that we all respected in news, probably a little liberal, but nice guy, well-respected news guy, or Brian Williams or Matt Lauer. What do they think of their NBC News brand listening to this NBC host?
To hell with the Republicans. They're anti-American. They're psycho-talkers. They don't care. And Harry, you are You won't do the nuke option for the American people and shove the Republicans into the ditch. Sometimes I think they want Obama to get shot. I do. I really think that there are conservative broadcasters in this country who would love to see Obama taken out. They fear socialism. They fear Marxism. They fear that the United States of America won't be the United States of America anymore. You damn right Dick Cheney's heart's a political football. We ought to rip it out and kick it around and stuff it back in him. I'm glad he didn't tip over. He is the new poster child for health care in this country. He is an enemy of the country, in my opinion, Dick Cheney is. He is an enemy of the country. Lord, take him to the promised land, will you? See, I don't even wish the guy goes to hell. I just want to get him the hell out of here. Do you know what they're talking about? Like this right-wing slut, what's her name, Laura Ingraham? Yeah, she's a talk slut.
Think I'd be working?
No, I mean, I cannot believe the gross hypocrisy. I mean, it's just astonishing, the things that came out of his mouth, the hate speech just spewing forward, an angry, mean spirit. It just comes off as violent and saying terrible things about, Republicans, saying it about Sarah Palin. I mean, the whole thing is just very inappropriate.
And in fairness, by the way, Leslie did apologize to Laura Ingraham, and Laura Ingraham very graciously accepted it. And I said at the time, don't fire him. I'm not asking for anybody to be fired here. But this brand now is lecturing talk radio. They take the talking points of Media Matters. They're pushing these boycotts of conservatives. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute here. You guys have your own problems that are far worse that has been ignored. I didn't see Brian Williams do a segment on him. Maybe because he's in the family? Is Brian Williams not objective? He was doing segments on Rush.
Well, Sean, I don't totally disagree with you on that. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that I'm a woman first before I'm a Democrat. And I feel that these disgusting remarks about women, whether it be Sarah Palin or Hillary Rodham Clinton, whether it be Laura Ingraham, who I like and have the utmost respect for, or Kimberly or me, it's completely wrong. To me, this is an issue mostly of men saying degrading, sexist things about women, from the left to the right, from the right to the left, and from each party to its own people.
Yeah, and I want to say for the record, I'm a man first before. I don't mean to make light of this, because these are serious. No, but they are serious issues. And when you really look at the misogyny and the horrific things, let's go to another NBC host, so-called well-respected, but he does have a thrill up his leg, Chris Matthews.
Congresswoman Bachmann, are you hypnotized tonight? Has someone hypnotized you? Because no matter what I ask you, you give the same answer. Are you hypnotized? Has someone put you under a trance tonight? I think Sarah Palin proved herself to be... I think she's proven herself to be profoundly stupid. Their inability to answer the questions of Katie Couric, our inability even now to explain that she ever reads anything. And this person, and you have to use the word balloon head, said that we had slavery eradicated in the days of the founding fathers. I have never heard anything. People like that should not be in politics. They didn't go to first grade in history. What is this person doing on the national stage? Go home to grade school, start around third, and you might be able to catch up with the class.
It always fits this liberal narrative. Every conservative is as intelligent as Barack Obama. They can't accumulate $5 trillion in debt, have 47 million Americans in poverty, raise gas prices to $4 a gallon when it's $1.70. Not everyone could have the record of Obama. I get a thrill up your leg every time he speaks.
But But doesn't it bother you, the fact that he's saying these things about women and speaking in the manner that he is? It's incredibly disrespectful. He's talking about educated women that are patriots, that have served their country well, and disparaging them in ways that, you know, how about if that was your father, you know, and you hear him talking about women like that? What kind of lesson or example is he sending? And how is that remotely close to any kind of journalistic standards to speak in that manner about someone else and mock them on television in such a hateful way?
And this goes to the Democratic Party, Leslie. And by the way, I do appreciate your remarks. And I don't want anybody silenced. I'm not gonna cancel my HBO subscription because of Bill Maher. But the president, how does he, you know, with a straight face, lecture the country, call Sandra Fluck, talk about his daughters, talk about civility and tone and the coarseness in rhetoric in the country, and then take $1 million from Bill Maher? How's it possible? And then invite Ed Schultz to the White House. How's that possible? And then Michelle Obama goes on David Letterman. How's that possible?
Well, Sean, I think we actually started talking about this on the air, off the air, I think last week. The bottom line for me, whether it is a Foster Freeze making a very disgusting sexist, which people are calling a joke, giving money to Rick Santorum. And I will say that Rick Santorum even said, look, I'm not giving money back. I can't be held responsible for all the words and actions of everyone who contributes to my campaign. And I actually would agree with him on that, whether it is a candidate on the right or the left or a sitting president.
I don't see how it's comparable. The C word, the T word, never an apology. And I would have accepted the apology. Bill Maher has no intention of apologizing. Isn't it Bill Maher's afraid to attack his left-wing base because, or that Obama's afraid to attack his left-wing base like Bill Maher because he knows that at a 41% approval rating, he can't afford to lose anybody?
Well, you know what, Sean, like I said before, I don't feel that these comments are fair because the majority of these comments are coming left or right toward women from men. And I do think it's okay, regardless of that person's ideology, for the president to say something. However, we as a society have to stop it. For example, I am a liberal Democrat, but I call out...
Right.
He said he would lead by example. And you know what?
Yes.
I think he's showing himself to be a hypocrite. I want to go ahead. You finish, and then I'll let Kimberly have the last word.
Well, I don't agree that he's being a hypocrite because you can't be responsible for over 300+ million people that are as commander-in-chief that you are the president of. Then don't get involved in the Sandra
Fluck controversy if you're not going to call Governor Palin. And don't lecture us about the tone and your children. If your wife's going to go on David Letterman's show where he talked about A-Rod knocking up Sarah Palin's daughter, or in the case of Maher, talking about Santorum's children.
Yeah, it's totally inappropriate.
Well,
this is a moment.
But Rush talked about Chelsea. Rush said terrible things about Hillary, about Michelle Obama, about Chelsea. It's all wrong.
Injected himself into the...
Yes, he did. He went willingly, eagerly to make comments and attacking anybody on the right that he felt wasn't making appropriate comments towards women. And then there was a complete abdication of leadership and just showing respect as a man. He is the president of the United States, not a talk radio show host, not a television journalist. Show us the man that you are. Show us that you're a man of integrity, that respects women, that puts women first and not campaign dollars. That's the problem I have with this.
All right, we're going to end it right there. Leslie, good to see you. Thank you for being with us. And Kimberly, always